And welcome to Talking Smarks here on AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. I'm Josh, and today I'm going to be doing kind of a doubleheader with the Dumpster Fire. Sounds like we have somebody joining us in the studio today. One of our longtime friends, good friend of the show, Quinn, is making his way here as we speak. But right now, I'm just going to go ahead and focus on Talking Smarks until he gets here. It's been a wild week for wrestling. The last 4 days have been utter insanity, especially if you're an AEW and a New Japan fan. This past Sunday, we had Forbidden Door. I left off our last episode of the show, which I still need to get up on YouTube if my computer would stop being so goofy, for lack of a better term. That's why these episodes have taken so long to come onto YouTube, because every time I try to get down to business and edit one of these episodes and get it all uploaded, my computer decides to do something else completely different. But no matter, that's not why we're here. This Sunday, AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling presented Forbidden Door joint show, sold out, United Center in Chicago. Absolutely hot crowd, absolutely hot matches. We have new IWGP Tag Team Champions, FTR. It has come true, 7-star FTR. They are currently holding the IWGP Tag Team Championships. They are also holding the AAA Tag Team Championships. They are also holding the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. They're on top of the world right now. They are arguably the best tag team on the planet. They've been making the claim for years, but they can back it up now. Just look at all that hardware right now. Absolutely insane. We also had a match that on paper sounded a little bit odd. The booking decisions did have to take into account with certain AEW talent being essentially barred from working Forbidden Door due to contractual obligations with other promotions. But the match of Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy, this is a 5-star match, folks. I'm telling you, this was utterly insane. Like I said, on paper, you would think, well, would this work? You know, obviously, we all know how great of a professional wrestler Will Ospreay is. Orange Cassidy, obviously, he has his gimmick, which is very polarizing. Some people love it. Others, especially if you're Jim Cornette, utterly despise it. But there is no denying that this match was absolute gold. I could go back and watch it over and over again if I could. I'm only highlighting just a couple of the matches here because if I tried to go through a recap of the whole show, and I might, and I probably will at some point, but this was an absolutely great show. And to top it all off, we had this incredible main event. Jon Moxley and Hiroshi Tanahashi. We have been waiting for this match for at least 3 years. We finally got it. It did not disappoint. And keep in mind, this was also for the AEW Interim World Championship. Moxley picking up the win. So he is currently the interim AEW World Champion. Will obviously be holding on to this belt until CM Punk returns from his injury, at which point we will have a title unification match to see who truly is the AEW World Champion. And also, how could I forget? Zack Sabre Jr. versus the debuting in AEW, Claudio Castagnoli, the former Cesaro in WWE. Keep in mind, Cesaro has been in WWE for quite a long time. I want to say 9 years at the very least. He did not disappoint whatsoever. It took one match, one absolutely insane uppercut to remind the wrestling industry that even though he's been in the WWE for quite a while, he is still one of the most vicious and one of the most technically gifted wrestlers on this planet. And the roster in any promotion that he decides to go to should be on notice. He will wreck your day. And to top it all off, last night we had Blood and Guts 2. Oftentimes they say sequels do not live up to the original. No, this one surpassed it in every way. The quality of the match, a lot of the spots. This was truly a blood and guts match. Last year's was quite the gruesome spectacle. This one, they topped it off. We had tables, we had rubbing alcohol, thumbtacks, broken glass, barbed wire bats, chairs, people flying. Oh, don't let me forget, bamboo skewers, people flying off of the cage. This was an absolutely brutal match. Great storytelling to go along with it as well, especially in the finish. But just a couple of the high spots here. Sammy Guevara, the Spanish God, who has, it's pretty much all but confirmed at this point, he is a heel. Him and Ty Conti joining the Jericho Appreciation Society. Sammy gets tossed off of the blood and guts cage, and this cage is about 20 feet tall, folks, to a set of tables below. I mean, obviously there was a little, you could tell that there was a crash pad, and I mean, I can't blame them, because at the end of the day, Sammy has to live to wrestle another day, and we don't want to see a casualty on live television. But this was insane. Let's see here. We had, obviously, your thumbtack spots, people getting drilled in the hair with chairs, Jon Moxley gouging everybody with bamboo skewers, a fork, broken glass. Oh, and you can't forget the thumbtacks. Cannot forget the thumbtacks. Like I said, folks, this was an absolutely brutal match. The finish, here's where it all ties together. Claudio Castagnoli and Eddie Kingston. Keep in mind, folks, Claudio Castagnoli and Eddie Kingston, even though they're on the same team, part of the Blackpool Combat Club for this match, they despise each other. They do not get along. Both of them have their respective opponents in their submission maneuvers. Claudio gets the submission victory first. Eddie Kingston thought he did it, and he vanquished Chris Jericho once and for all, until it was revealed just a little bit later Claudio actually picked up the win. Keep in mind, they joined forces just for this match for Claudio to take Bryan Danielson's place in the blood and guts match due to his injury. What's going to happen next? The match is over. In theory, this whole beef between the Blackpool Combat Club and the Jericho Appreciation Society is over, or so we think. So what are we getting next? Are we finally going to see Claudio and Eddie Kingston come to blows? It looked like they were getting pretty close during the match. They were not getting close to one another whatsoever. The disdain is very evident. Keep in mind, at the end of Forbidden Door, we saw the first bit of hostility between the two parties. Eddie Kingston came out during the big post-match beatdown at the end and actually spat at Claudio. This is utterly insane. I can't wait to see where this goes next. This is a bit of a shorter episode because I got a lot to go through here, and also it's primarily just so that way I can edit it a lot quicker and hopefully get it onto YouTube a bit quicker. But like I said, it's been a crazy time in professional wrestling. I promise I will have a longer episode of Talking Smarks here for you all. There is actually one bit of WWE news that I want to bring up today. Logan Paul. Y'all know him. Former Vine star, YouTuber, boxer, apparently a boxer, has signed with WWE. Now, this has been kind of teased for a little bit. Last year at WrestleMania, he was involved in the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens match. This year, he was involved in an angle with The Miz, made his WrestleMania debut as an in-ring competitor. And I will give the guy props. He did do a good job. He put in the work. Looked like he did put some training in. Came out to the ring wearing a Pokemon card worth millions of dollars nowadays. But it is official. He has signed with WWE. And keep in mind, Logan Paul is also a very polarizing figure. Some people love what he does. Other people despise him. Other people cannot stand the sight of this man. But there's no denying wherever he goes, there's a media presence. I'm curious to see what he's going to do in WWE. Is he going to do kind of like what Ronda Rousey's been doing the last couple of years, show up for a lot of the bigger events and then bounce? Is he going to try to go full time? It hasn't really been revealed yet. He just signed today. So I'm curious to see what they'll do. I hope that the Mania match was just the beginning, and he is taking this seriously, and he does put in the work and does more than just, one or two spots, because sadly that is kind of the tradition when you have celebrity involvement, especially in WrestleMania matches, that they have them there. Obviously they get the media coverage. They do, a couple of decent, they do a couple of simple moves, maybe one high spot just to get the crowd to pop, and that's it. But the last few years we've seen some really good celebrity involvements. Obviously, Logan Paul had a pretty strong showing at WrestleMania. So did Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania this year as well. Had a great match with Sami Zayn. That was all, I can't say the name of the show, but the MTV show where him and his buddies would hurt one another. A lot of those gags were in there. Hello, Quinn has arrived.
What's up? It's me, your boy Quinn, here to take over the show with the full set of hair.
Oh, there we go. And that's a good segue for at least this next segment here. And now let me actually go ahead and bring you back to the music. That was it actually for the Talking Smarks portion of the show. I'll get that up on YouTube. So like I said, it's curious to see what Logan Paul will do. Ooh. But we'll see what happens. And this is AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. And we're bringing you back to the music.